Any Muslim? So nothing like Allah, but Allah is like a tree. Nothing like Allah, but Allah like a niche. Nothing like Allah, but Allah is a fire. Nothing like Allah, but Allah is a man. Even Allah is a man. You know, isn't it Muhammad, he compared Allah to the false Messiah? And he said, your God is not one-eyed. Nothing like Allah. Yamota, did you fix it? Let me call you again, Yamota. Okay, Yamota the kid. So nothing like Allah. But Muhammad was afraid that the Muslims will be confused about him and the false Messiah. But the false Messiah is a man. How the Muslims will be confused about if the false Messiah is Allah, if he is coming in the look and the shape of a man? And he is a man, actually. I mean, have you ever heard of a stupid statement like this? Unless Allah is a man. You see, if Allah nothing like him, why Muhammad is afraid that the Muhammadan, they will think that the false Messiah who is claiming to be the Messiah is Allah, when he is coming as a man? The Prophet said, who is the Prophet? When we say the Prophet, we mean Muhammad. There's no other Prophet than him. That's it. He said, I have told you so much about the Dajjal. Who is the Dajjal? It's not Antichrist. Dajjal is a false Messiah. His name, the correct name is Al-Masih Dajjal, which means the liar Messiah, which means the false Messiah. That I'm afraid you may not understand that Dajjal is short, hinted, woolly haired, and one-eyed, and eye-sightless, neither protruding nor deep-seated. If you are confused about him, know that your Lord Allah is not one-eyed. Like, what? But I thought nothing like Allah. So Muhammad is telling the Muhammadan that I am Muhammadan who teach the Muhammadan about how Muhammad is describing to Muhammadan that Muhammad is the only knows how the Muhammadan should understand how Allah looks like for the Muhammad as the Muhammadan. And now Muhammad, he gave them an example. Parable, brother. But this is not a parable. This is literally, Allah is not one-eyed. So this is the only difference between them. He's afraid that the Muslims will think that this is Allah just because of what? The only difference between Allah and the false Messiah is one-eyed. Is there other different? No. It's in front of you. And this is Sahih. What they will say, this is weak, there's a Sahih. Right? Get out of your potato. You see, I just call you and, you know, you're just a kid. You see, I don't mind to speak to kids, even if they are stupid and silly. Because, you know, we are very humble. But as you see, even when we give them a chance, they are here just to call names. They are not here to discuss anything. Because they are just angry. And I understand. If I am you, God forbid, and I am silly, God forbid, and stupid, God forbid, I will be angry from this. I mean, how silly. You say to me nothing like Allah, and then you describe Allah saying he is not one-eyed. I'm afraid that you will think that this guy who is coming look like the Messiah, but he is not the Messiah, and he is not even the real Messiah, and he's a man. I am afraid you will think this is Allah. But Allah is not a man anyway, so why they will think is Allah? Because Allah is a man, obviously. Do you see it? The proof is in front of you. It's not my word. This is Muhammad speaking. Muhammad is afraid that they are confused. حتى خشيت, until I am afraid. Afraid of what? The appearance of the Dajjal. Okay, what the appearance of the Dajjal have to do with the appearance of Allah? If Allah is not a man, if Allah is not a human, if nothing like Allah. But here he's describing for us a man. He is not short, he is fat, he is hair, his eyes, etc. And then he says, Well, if you are confused about him, know that your Lord is not one-eyed. So Allah have a physical eyes, physical body, physical shape, and he look exactly as the false Messiah, and the proof in front of your eyes. What do you think? And here we need to ask another question. Why there is a person, he is going to make amazing miracles, and he is going to claim to be the Messiah? Any Muslim can answer that? Why he will not claim to be Muhammad? And you notice here, by claiming to be the Messiah, you became God. Do you see? The hadith saying that. The hadith saying that this person is coming as the Messiah. He is the false Messiah, not the Antichrist. This is a false translation. In Islam, there is no Antichrist. That's a big fat lie. In Islam, there is the false Messiah. Al-Masih al-Dajjal. Dajjal means the liar. So, Al-Masih al-Dajjal, the Messiah, the liar, which means he is claiming that he is the Messiah, he will make a lot of miracles. Actually, if we search in the hadith, we will find tons of reference of what this guy he will do. Ad-Dajjal, he is going to be a very powerful person. He will chop a man 2 pieces and he put him together right away. Here you see the influence of Christianity on Muhammad, that the Messiah is God. The Messiah, he can split a person 2 pieces and he can put them together. Tons of stories about the Messiah, the false Messiah, in the hadith. Oh, look, all of those. Muhammad, he is so afraid from this false Messiah, supposedly. You see it? Look. I mean, this guy, he keep talking about him non-stop. Thousands and thousands. Here you will see a story that the Messiah, the false Messiah, he will cut a human being 2 pieces and he will walk between them. And then he will tell the man to stand up. You see what the false Messiah can do? Read carefully. This is the hadith in front of you. Let me give you the reference. But this is in Sahih Muslim. We can find the same reference in Sahih Muslim. But let's read it here for it. It exists in the Bukhari too. That the false Messiah, he will cut a human being 2 pieces. This is the Dajjal, about whom the Messenger of Allah has informed us. Dajjal will have him laid on his stomach and have his head. He will be struck on his back and on his stomach. Dajjal will ask him, "Don't you believe me?" He will say, "You are the false Messiah." You see, false Messiah, not the Antichrist. He will give his order to have him swan with the saw into 2 from parting of his hair up to his legs. After that, the Dajjal will walk between the 2 halves and will say to him, "Stand up." And he will stand up on his feet and he will say to him, "Don't you believe in me?" Do you see it, guys? Why the false Messiah is doing this? According to Muhammad, because you want to be the Messiah. To believe in him that he is the true Messiah. But that means the Messiah, the real Messiah, if the false Messiah can do this, what the real Messiah can do? Do you understand, Christians? This is the stupid teaching of Muhammad. if the false Messiah can split a man two pieces and make him stand up, so what the real Messiah can do? Glory to you. Muslim, do you see who is my Lord? And do you see why we believe he's God, you idiot? Those who say he's not God. If the false Messiah who is trying to clone Jesus, he can do this, so the real Messiah, what he can do? And why he is trying to do what the Messiah do? Because this can be done only by God. And that explains why Muhammad saying to you that Allah, the only difference between him and the Messiah, that the false Messiah, he have problem with one eye. I mean, here, look at the stupidity. The false Messiah, he can split a man to pieces, but he cannot fix his eye. You know what I mean? I mean, do you see the stupidity? The false Messiah, he have a problem with his eye. He have his one eye sight, there's one eye is like gone. Okay, but the person you are saying, he can split a man to pieces. He can create from the sand a man. He can do many things. I mean, there's tons of stories. So a person who can do all of this, cannot he fix his eye? Well, let me tell you, false Messiah, I advise you to search in YouTube, and you will find how many people go and make surgery in Thailand. Not only they will fix your eye, they will fix your gender. And then he will look like Allah. Genderless. But the Muslim, by the way, the Quran keeps saying he. The Muslim, they say he is not a, is he a man? They say he's he. Okay, what is okay? Why you don't say then a she? Okay, if he is not a man, he is not a woman. Why you don't say he, she? But you say he. Jesus is a man. Okay, he. Is Allah is a man? No. So why you say he? Too many questions. And who can answer them? I want to say thank you guys for being here. I wasn't planning to stay for long, and I did not actually only, 2 hours? How long? Just 2 hours, 15 minutes. Very short video. Very short. I'm freezing here. Okay. Oof. Oh boy. I'm going to go on the street now and split a man to pieces. And I say to him, Takaru, tatakakataku, like I will use some voodoo word, and put him together. Who can do it? The false Messiah will do this. And to make himself accepted as God. The Messiah in the Quran, he can resurrect people from death. And then Allah, he blame you for believing that he is God. He can create from the mother bird. He breathed into the bird. And he blame you for believing him as God. Allah, he sent 600 years later a message saying, oh, this is the Messiah. Yeah, I gave him those miracles. I gave him those miracles. Like, yeah, remember this guy I sent, his name is the Messiah. Yeah, but he's not God. I sent him, I gave him those miracles. By giving them, if Allah really intended to guide us, he will not give those to Jesus. Because Jesus forgives sin. And the Quran says, who forgives sin save Allah? Who resurrect people from death save Allah? Who is the one can make people see save Allah? Who can create save Allah? And then we will find that Jesus, he says, I create to you from the mud a bird, and I breathe into him. And then he says, by the leave of Allah. Leave of Allah? You see, leave of Allah does not change anything, not by the power of, by the leave of Allah. So if I can do it, that's mean the leave of Allah is not important. As an example, can I now make fun of Allah? I'm doing that already. But did Allah give me the leave to do that? The Muslim, they might say yes, might say no. The fact, no. According to Islam, they don't believe in that. They believe in qadar, destiny. So according to Islam, it's a destiny for me to insult Allah. And this is one of the stupid things of this religion. But if I try to have a son without a wife, can I do that? They will say no. Can Allah do that? They will say no, because Allah cannot have it too unless he have a son. So the leave of Allah make no difference. It's a lie, because Allah himself cannot have a son without having a girlfriend. But the God of Mary, he can do such a thing. Can God have a son? Muslims, can God have a son? Any Muslim? Just to show you how much confused. Anyone? Supposedly my video is over, huh? What we can do? I mean, ideas come after idea. If you look at the Muslims' answers about this, can Allah have a son? They will say no. The Quran already answer. But look, the Quran is a stupid book. In different places, the Quran gives us different story. Okay, let's see. Look like we have a Muslim. Hello? Hello? Oh, okay. He said I'm a Muslim, but I heard a donkey. I mean, do you see how desperate they are? What a kid. Stupid. Let me block you. What? Did we put the foot of Allah in your mouth? What happened? Look what the Quran is saying about Allah having a son. Just to show you the stupidity of this book. Chapter 39, verse number 4. If Allah had willed to choose a son, he could have chosen him from what he create. Like what? So what the problem? Do you see the stupidity? Secondly, we Christians don't believe that God have a son from what he created. The Quran says so. If Allah wanted to have son, he will take a son from what he created. It's not me who's saying that. But how that will make him your son? Adoption? You know what I'm talking about? That will not make him your son. If this son is from a creation you created, that is not your son. That is adoption. Obviously, the one who wrote the book, it's called Quran, is the same as the guy who was making his voice in Paltalk a second ago. You have nothing to say. If I want to have a son, I will have him from somebody I created. So you Muslim, you say Jesus was created, right? Okay. And you say that this is impossible. Okay. But Allah is saying it's possible. And look, Does the verse say this is impossible? He says no. Be glorified. He is Allah, the one, the absolute. So, and what is the connection actually between the first part of the verse and the second part? Nothing. Madness. My friend, learn something. When you go to a Christian chat, you don't go and promote other Muslims channels. I do not need to go and read and see somebody channel to refute them. I am here to teach you, and you are free to go anywhere you want. If the Muslims themselves, you go them and tell them to come and debate me. But you come in here promoting Muslim channels, that is not smart of you. And you might even be a Muslim doing that. And by the way, I want to tell you something important here. There's many people here, they come in the chat and they curse Muhammad. They say a lot of things about Muhammad, but they are Muslims. In order to gain your trust. So you add them, you chat with them, they take your email, etc. Be careful, don't be stupid. Trust nobody. This is a chat, this is internet. You don't know you are talking to who.